If you heard that there's one part of your body that holds the key to making you feel healthy on the inside, what would be your gut reaction? Our next guest is here to tell us about the real power behind our body's operation, and you'll have a gut feeling that she's onto something. She's an internal medicine physician, board certified in allergy and immunology. Let's welcome Dr. Tanya Elliott. Good to have you on. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay. So you've got some information around how Americans feel about their health. Can you share it with us?
Yeah, so Doctors Best commissioned a survey of 2,000 Americans just asking general wellness questions. And what they found was that we only feel healthy 19 days per month, that 70% of people feel that they're in either moderate or poor health. And the number one complaint, digestive issues, followed by fatigue, mood changes, and headaches.
Okay. And so can you tell us how gut health impacts our immune health?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but 80% of our immune cells are in our gut. So gut health isn't just about bloating and indigestion or constipation, right? Our gut is like the hub, right, of our immune cells. Also our serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone. 90% of our serotonin is in the gut, and that's what's depleted when we experience depression. So it's no surprise that when people have gut issues, they also have a higher incidence of depression, brain fog, sleep issues, poor productivity, and then the list goes on and on.
It makes sense how it's all tied together as you explain it. And I mean, the term leaky gut sounds a little scary. What conditions can poor gut health lead to, doctor?
So let me explain what leaky gut is. So imagine the intestines are like this smooth lining, right? And then all the food that we eat slowly gets digested as we go through the gastrointestinal tract and then eventually gets excreted. When the health of your intestinal lining is poor, those cells start to break down, and then you can get leakage of bacteria, toxins, and food byproducts into the bloodstream. What happens then? Our immune system says, hey, what are these things doing in our bloodstream? These were supposed to be excreted out by our gut. And so then we start to experience inflammation. So we have inflammation in our bloodstream, right? And so then we get immune organ dysregulation, autoimmune issues, infections, overall inflammation of our joints, allergies. So the list goes on and on because the stuff that's in our gut that's supposed to be excreted out now leaks into our bloodstream.
Okay, and this is obviously things that we want to avoid going forward. So what can people do to improve their overall gut health?
We've got to support our microbiome. And that's the good bacteria that live in a symbiotic, so mutually beneficial relationship with our gut cells. So how can we do this? Well, certainly the foods that we eat and avoiding ultra-processed foods, so always going with whole foods, whole grain, fresh fruits and vegetables. And then supporting those good bacteria with prebiotics, which is essentially the food that those good bacteria need in order to grow and thrive. Probiotics, which is actually taking the bacteria itself and ingesting it, so things like active yogurt cultures or fermented foods. And then postbiotics, which is what I like to call the punchline. So these are byproducts that are created when the good bacteria break down fiber in our digestive tract. And specifically, one of these byproducts called butyrate, and Doctors Best has a supplement called Butyrate with Core Biome. So butyrate is necessary for the health of our colon cells and for healthy digestion and a healthy gut lining overall.
All helpful tips that we can use moving forward. Dr. Tanya Elliott, thanks so much for joining us. And to our viewers, you can armor up from within. You can find out more by heading to doctorsbest.com.